So I'm making this video because I don't know what else to do to try to save my daughter from this corrupt family court system. Family court does not favor mothers. It favors these men, and it favors abusers, and it allows males to use the court system to abuse children and further abuse women. These males just use the children to keep abusing and controlling women, and that's why they control the family court system. I picked my daughter up from her father's house on her birthday weekend, and apparently she had called him bald, and the next day he cut bald spots out of her head. She had a hair appointment that weekend, and it was her birthday weekend. I had a party and everything for her planned. He knew I was taking her to get a silk press, so because she called him bald, he cut her hair off for her birthday weekend before her silk press appointment. Now, at first, I couldn't believe he would do such a thing, so I thought my daughter was cutting her own hair off, because it was very hard for me to believe that he would do something like this. But the suspicion was he lied and said he doesn't own a pair of scissors when my daughter said she saw him buy a pair of scissors the week before this happened. And then he said bald spots doesn't mean she's cutting her hair. He's trying to make it seem like her hair was just falling out. It just magically happened. And he admits that he's seen the bald spots. And he's trying to say, is that the only way she can get bald spots? You can literally see this piece of hair right here was sliced clean off with a scissor. You can see her hair was cut off. And even when we went to the hairdresser asked what happened up here. And I had to explain to her that somebody cut my daughter's hair off, and that somebody is her dad, who's denying that he even owns a pair of scissors, and him and her live alone. I've been fighting for my child for years. I'm talking years. This is 2021. And she said she was depressed and suicidal for years, saying she wants to run away and saying that she's being physically abused by her father. This is a doctor's report. I went to court to file an emergent order yesterday because of obviously her father cutting bald spots in her head before her birthday weekend. It's pretty alarming, don't you think? And the judge didn't even see me. I came in and brought a ton of evidence. I even had to file a harassment report on him because he came to my house trying to steal my daughter. Because I kept her at my house and didn't bring her back to him because of the bald spots. So I had to file a police report. The judge wouldn't even see me. This is Burlington County Family Court in New Jersey. The judge wouldn't even see me. He didn't even see the pictures. He didn't see anything. So now I'm afraid that I'm going to have to bring my child back to this man.
The numbers on this and the need for family court awareness are real and painful. Since 2008, there have been over 800 documented murders of children by separating or divorced parents or caregivers. And the Center for Judicial Excellence estimates that 111 of those murders were preventable, reflecting failures in the family court system, such as rejection of the other parent's request for protection, abuse of the narcissistic relationship, and then the unempathic, invalidating conduct of the court. This sort of obsession with parental rights means that we miss the children's rights to a healthy and safe childhood. Children's rights should always outweigh adult rights.
And the Family Court Services director saying, "Oh, Mrs. So-and-so is back. I can't believe it." And the judge said, "She's so histrionic. I think she's completely exaggerating her domestic violence claims." And the director said, "I agree." And they said, "Yes, we need to make sure that these kids have more time with their father." I believe that domestic violence victims were looked at as whiners, as weak people who needed to learn to get along with their perpetrator for the sake of their children.
Or a parent who alleges their child was sexually, physically, or emotionally abused by the other parent. This parent lost custody when the other side successfully accused them of lying about abuse or coaching their children to do so. They were accused of parental alienation. This woman, who we'll call Pam, says her daughter was sexually abused by the child's father. Documents show Pam's daughter told a pediatrician and a therapist that her father had penetrated her vagina with his fingers. She complained of burning, and a doctor documented irritation and a tear. According to medical documents, she told a medical examiner about the father's penis and other objects inserted into her genital area.
Doctor's reports, which corroborated this abuse. Part of that was a tear in my daughter's vagina at 4 years old. And Judge said that could have happened many ways. She could have scratched herself. She could have fell or something along those lines. The judge said I lied, coached my daughter, and switched custody.
Groups raising awareness on this phenomenon say the courts overwhelmingly grant custody to abusers, represented victims of domestic violence in court for decades, and says judges systematically disbelieve victims and protective parents, especially when sexual abuse is alleged.
The judges, when it comes to sexual abuse and to go into denial.
Judge,